You are all welcome to Psychiatry 1 After Class Review. My name is Samola Samabwatin. If it's your first time of meeting me, I do NCLEX studies. Some of them are free, others are not. In fact, most of them are not. If you're interested in the paid class, please consult the admins or whoever brought you here to link you to the classes, and then you will have a wonderful time. Don't hesitate to come in anytime you feel like doing so, and I'll be willing to answer any question. There's no dumb question here, so we move forward. Now, when it comes to psychiatry, it just focusing on people with mental illness or people who are in psychological distress. So you find conditions like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, etc. And we also want to understand the experiences on the side of the patient, what they go through. Mm. And then we will find means or ways of helping these people achieve independence as described or explained by Virginia Henderson in the definition of nursing. Okay. I still hear people saying my voice is so faint. How is it now? Comfort, how's my voice now? Is my voice still faint? Comfort, nyamiye or sabute?
Yes, sir.
My voice still faint.
It's better now, but when you start to speak, then it becomes faint.
Okay, and it's okay for you, but I think Comfort is still not hearing me. Comfort, can you hear me? If you can, please kindly give me a feedback. Is she in the class at all?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I'm saying that if you speak,
Oh, sorry.
go on a faint.
It comes by as it goes on, it faints.
Yes, sir.
It means I have to be very close to the mic all the time. Some more.
Well, I think it's from them, because I'm from here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Asabi, I think it's from them because it's very clear.
Eh.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very, very clear. I can hear him
That's no
clearly.
problem.
All right. I'll try my best. But if you don't hear anything, just do not hesitate to, hint me. I will say it again. Okay. Why do you need to use this one? All right. I think I can just get closer this way. Okay. So we want to understand what they go through so that we cannot just answer questions with them, but also help them realistically. In fact, I want to help people with psychiatric disorders. And so even though I'm preparing students for exams, I'm still trying to help health workers help them better, help patients with psychological distress better. So now, when a person presents with a psychiatric disorder, all that we want to know is that is this patient's condition psychotic or non-psychotic? What that seeks to know is that we want to differentiate between what a psychotic psychiatric illness is and what a non-psychotic psychiatric illness is. So that will be our aim of the next slide. So when we say someone is non-psychotic, it means that the person maintains a grip of reality and has insight into their condition. And with these people, we are just going to use therapeutic communication. So I come to you and say, Charlie, these days it looks like feel tired. I'm not able to sleep. I just feel worried over nothing at all. Like sometimes I feel like I'm on a last platform with the whole world looking at me, and unable to sit straight or listen to voices, that kind of stuff. You see, this person is aware of what is wrong with him or her. And so when they come to you and say, I really feel stressed, I don't understand. Don't tell them that for the stresses, we are all having it too. Myself, I have opened a branch in Kinkensu. I am a branch manager of stresses. So we are all managing. You better go and manage your stress. No. There is a way you can communicate with them when they come with a non-psychotic illness. A very common one is the usual depression that we know of. But we have the stages of depression that can lead to a psychotic one I will show you what psychotic illnesses are. But we are dealing with the non-psychotic ones. Now, for the non-psychotic ones, you are using therapeutic communication. So let's see what therapeutic communication actually seeks to know. Somebody said, is this the NCLEX review? Yes, this is NCLEX review. And it will interest you to know that this is what you will use in answering questions. You just wait and see. For therapeutic communication, you want to build trust. So, I can understand what you're going through. I can imagine. Wow. Is there anything I can do to help? You know? Yeah. Well, you're okay. Yes. Your information is safe with me. Yes. I am a trained professional. Yeah, this is what I do for a living. I help people get rid of their anxieties. Yes, that is what I do. So you are in the right place and I would help you. Let the person feel welcome. Let the person know that, yes, you are going to really help alleviate whatever burden they brought to you. So the therapeutic communication seeks to promote insight and expression. It solves the problem that the patient brought. It empowers the patient to make every possible decision that the person should make. Now, there are certain things that, as far as the exams is concerned, you would have to look out for. You are trying to be empathic or empathetic, not sympathetic or sympathy. Okay. What that means is that you are not going to put yourself in the person's shoes. The person wears size 10, yours is size 6. Maintain that. Whereas, like, it must be very difficult for you. You are feeling empathic about what the patient is going through. But to say, I know exactly how he feels. You are lying. You're not the one suffering. So how do you know exactly how he feels? You are talking about you at this time. It's not about the patient. And it's also the type of communication that you give open-ended questions. Madam, sit down. You came to meet this guy, two of us. Yes, I came to meet him. So sit down. Then you came to meet somebody, you are hovering all over the place. Are you the only person with problems in Ghana? I will slap you. Media translated no church and was being mad. Then he asks you, how are you? He says, I'm fine. Are you sick? He says, well, I can't. Please answer the question. Are you sick? It's a yes or no. No, don't go that tangent with the patient. Don't go that tangent. Open-ended questions. Oh, why are you here today? This allowed the patient to talk. Can you tell me more about what you're going through? You mentioned that you wanted to see me. Well, what is it about? You see, then even if they say something that you think is in music, in rap music, they'll say it's a punchline. You would want the patient to give you some sort of reflection, or the patient reflect, or you reflect by making the patient re-echo what he or she said. So repeating part of the patient's statement to encourage deeper thinking, like the patient says, I feel like giving up. Don't go over that. That is a very risky statement for the patient to say. Giving up. Are you talking about giving up your work? When you say giving up, what do you mean by giving up? Giving up in what sense? Or the patient wants to give up life. I don't know whether the patient actually have life anyway, but yeah. So you need to probe into that so that you can help the person better. We have something we call empathic presence, and this is often used in palliative care. In palliative care, you have to be a talkative, but also you have to be a very good active listener. And the key in achieving that is being silent. I remember somewhere in the Bible, it's written, probably in Proverbs, that even a fool, when he keeps quiet, is sometimes considered a wise person. Is that not wonderful? But here, it's like you are listening attentively to note down the salient points. You are being there with the patient. Sometimes you ask a question and the patient is not answering. The patient is quiet. You started asking questions about the patient. Mom, how are you? Okay. What have you noticed about the illness of your husband? The way things are going, we just want him to get well, but it's like we've been to every doctor in the corner. We are still not finding results. I'm sorry to hear that, but looking at him today, as you see him on the ward, what do you think? What is your general outlook? Hmm. God. Hmm. When she keeps quiet, you two should shut up small at least. And now no, hold on a little bit. Give the patient time or the relative time, whoever time to. I mean, yeah. Sometimes your presence alone is encouraging. Yeah. Then you clarify things. It's just more like the reflecting type of thing. You restate, you paraphrase what sometimes you even reframe. Mm, reframe. Like for example, when the patient said, I feel like giving up. You can reframe it in a very way, subtly to take him away from the real thing. You know he's actually driving at a point in some instance. But if the patient is not having depression or and it's any other thing, you can actually reframe it. Say, you are trying to give up your work. For what? Why? Why are you trying to give up? Then the patient will now try and say, no, I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about giving up my kids or maybe my boyfriend because he is too big for me. When you say he is too big, what do you mean? When you say he is too big, I'm talking to you in the panel. When you say your boyfriend is too big, what do you actually big in what sense? Okay, so you can be doing that. Then in a nutshell, you summarize. Now, these things are not things that you come to somebody teaching or lecturing and you think you will just pick the skill. These things are things you've been doing on the ward. How you've been reassuring your patients, how have you been talking to them. It's just a little bit of some nitty-gritties that I've added to it. So these are therapeutic communications. So far as patients have not been complaining about the way you do your thing, there is a probability that you may be actually demonstrating what you've been taught in class, um, which actually, sorry about that. I'm having interruptions. Please, those WhatsApping me, I'm begging you, let me concentrate. Which is actually what you were taught. So you are practicing what you've been taught. Okay. Huh. So what I'm saying is that it will come. It's a natural thing. It comes with a flow. It comes with experience. It comes with the way things are. You may pick some salient points from here, but just add it to what you've been doing already to make it nice. Now, avoid saying things um, like you should, like you are not giving it as an option. You are rather enforcing it in a don't know. You don't give it like that. Maybe those of you who have lived in English speaking countries, even when they want you to pick something for them, they put it in a question form. They make it feel like you have options not to. Can you please take that for me? Maud, I think he'll buttress me on this. Can you would you be able to do this for me? Then the response will be sure, you can have it. You know, that kind of thing. Ah, it's like just something that you can refuse. But most times, especially in the Western countries, you end up doing whatever the person asks. Don't give false assurance. Don't go and tell them that everything will be fine. It's a popular thing. It's a Ghanaian thing. It's a cultural thing. I nearly carried it here. So in my practice, you see me reassuring. But when I got to understand the American culture, sometimes you don't just give them false hope. You let them know the truth. They are a little bit not really guided in what the patient would necessarily feel if it is the truth. You know, there are tools that we can use to break bad news. Example is the spikes protocol. You're setting, I mean, it's just a guide that you follow just to break bad news. Like a patient is having cancer, you just want to tell the patient or you want to break the bad news to the patient. But even with that, um, in the Western setting, sometimes because of the nature of, I mean, don't want to say culture, but they will just tell you the results came. The results came, and then you had stage 4 cancer. They will just rattle it for you. This is what you have, and there is nothing like wandering around. Sometimes, if you get a very empathic provider telling you you can maybe see some sort of, I don't want to use the word remorse or whatever. I mean, you are not the one causing it anyway, but they have some particular appearance or presence with you that makes you feel like they are sorry about what is happening. Some of them can even go to the extent of patting your shoulders. But in some cultures, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. Oh, we'll be fine. We keep saying that. Some of those are not necessary, guys. Sometimes you can say, let's see what happens. It's a very good way to go about it. Say, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Those are some words that you can use. And you are not going to change the subject. The patient is talking about how big the boyfriend is. Don't change it. Stay with the how big the boyfriend is. Don't go and change that particular thing that they are talking about. And don't change the subject. And sometimes unnecessary high accent. Say, dog, Charlie, I don't know, but look, I don't know what to say, but I think I love you. So this one like this that the patient said it, what will be your response? You're going to ask the patient why. I know by default, women would like to understand why. What is making you for women, they would like to know, but I mean, it may not be necessary. And then sometimes too, the whys are quite judgmental. Why will you do such a thing? Are you crazy? Maybe crazy you will not say, but why would you do such a thing? It's hitting the patient too hard. No, don't go with that. So, well, things do happen. Yeah, people do things. I understand. I can imagine. Yeah, you just say it in that regard, but be very careful. And don't really say that's good or you shouldn't or that's bad. No. The patient was saying he was not able to do. So guess what? You know what I did? I locked my husband out from the room and I was able to sleep so well. Then, because your husband was misbehaving and you didn't even sack him from the room, you sacked him from the family house. And your husband is now wandering somewhere in Mali, seeking to do some boy job. So when he said that, I said, good, that's a very good one. You see, yeah, you don't go that tangent. Yeah. All right. We are still on the therapeutic. Like for those going to write the NCLEX, what you should understand is that patient says, I want to die. You are to ask, tell me more about how you are feeling. It's a feeling. There's something that is making him feel like he should die. Don't say you have so much to live for. No, that will be more of kind of giving indirectly some rationales, reframing things to make it as if this is what. So if the patient asks you, what do I have to live for? And you are not very good in giving your examples well, and the patient is smart enough to, excuse my language, kibosh whatever you said, then he still has a reason to die. There was this incident of these characters, Santo and Judas, and I think Judas wanted to end his life, and so he decided to write a letter. And his mode of killing himself was by, what was the name? Strangulation. How do you call it? What's your come for, bro? From your friend side, obviously suicide. What is the name?
Hanging.
Hanging. Yeah, he
By
wanted
hanging.
himself. And so he writes in some few lines, I don't kill myself. My wife kills me. So there was a reviewer which was Bob Santo. He picks the letter and said, this is the reason why you want to die. Then the guy said yes. Judas said yes. He said, okay. Well, obrofo kura chese okondo wampa. Also, woni de also obrofo nyekura. You see, don't say those. A scenario, patient is crying silently. Sit down. Sometimes you can even offer tissues. It's appropriate. It's therapeutic when you offer those tissues. And then in breaking the silence, you can let the patient know that you're actually there with him or her to help them. It's not like my mom is a typical Ashanti woman who can just listen to a brief, she just needs a brief summary of the dead person. That's all she needs. When are we And yeah, like my mom will ask, who is that? Then they will say, oh, isn't not this man who just married recently with the twin? So what's going to take her? Then she begins. I mean, that story is just enough for her. And she can cry continuously for like an hour, 30 minutes if care is not taken. I don't know if it's a talent or what. And she's not alone. She has a group of women who are able to actually do that. Please don't do that with your patients. I quite remember in my palliative care practice when I broke bad news, it was so hitting. The case was so special and different. And the patient broke down into tears. What we normally do is we stand, we offer some tissues. Sometimes we do sit and watch them. Other times you can give some tender loving care, patting the shoulder or something. Sometimes the hand, if it is culturally appropriate, you can even try to hold the hand or something. But in this case, it was too hard for myself. I realized when I blink at that moment, I'm also going to share a tear. So I said, I'm sorry, I will excuse you guys for just a moment. I'll be right back. I went into the bathroom, and in fact, guys, I shed tears. I really cried. Bah. Then afterwards, I washed my face with some water as if nothing happened, and I came back to continue whatever I was doing. It does happen. We are all humans, but try to be professional in what you're doing. So, in summary, when dealing with non-psychotic patients, as far as your NCLEX is concerned, you are seeking answers that will reflect, clarify, amplify what the patient is saying, or you restate it in a way that acknowledges the patient's feeling. Okay, avoid responses that are dismissive, judgmental, or forcing to give an option or advice to the patient to take. Give it in an open-ended option where the patient can choose from what is best. Yeah, the focus should be on understanding the patient's perspective, validating their experience, and exploring their feelings and thoughts. Let's answer these couple of questions and see where we go with these. Answer in the chat box, please. All right. Partake. I always tell you guys, take part. Taking part creates an association in your brain. One day, when you see a neurologist, ask them how we are able to store information. You create part. Do I have Emily from Canada in class? Emily from Canada. Let me know if you're in class. Just something small if you can type. I just want to be sure you are here. Wama. Hallelujah. I'm a two minutes. Wama. Adelaide Wama. Oh boy, Juma. Extra shift. Hey. Adelaide, are you still in Canada?
Yes, sir.
Chat to me after that. Okay. I need to talk to some.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the answer obviously is C. Let's try this question quickly. We are far behind time. We are on slide 13 of slide 72. Somebody's name is Asante Dixon. Another one is Benyisi Abrahamani. Leona. Is it Tima or Tima? So that Tima Eddie ama obi. Ana what Tiama no? And yet Tima. Ana se me fronas one ma me sure ni so beti mama. No so yet Tima. Ana se Cecilia Ejay. Ye wo Ejay kyerɛ sɛ Ejay ni kyerɛ sɛ ase bibia ye oni yi. Ɛna Ejay ni kyerɛ sɛ fada. Ni nyinaa wɔ hɔ. Kasa no ba ebe gugu mu. Na poso ama wo. Na de bia serious. Na to how ni bia. All right, so I'm getting some B's, I'm getting some C's. I want a bold person to unmute and tell me what's the answer.
C.
C.
Okay.
C.
So why
C
do
for
you
cat.
feel anxious about your health or somebody's answer? If the person knows why he feels anxious about his health, why is it there with you? You should just solve it. Okay. It's a little bit some way. So yeah, I think the C is more appropriate. All right. Now let's deal with psychotic patient quickly. We said that the non-psychotic patients, they don't have insight. They are not reality-based. They don't know what's wrong. Oh, the non-psychotic ones, rather, they know what is wrong with them. Okay. They are reality-based. They have insight. They are not psychotic. But the psychotic ones, they lack insight. They are not reality-based. They don't know what is going on. They see things differently from what others see. I'm going to teach you some 3 methods that you can take along. I know your teachers might have taught you something, but this is from my clinic, and I think it's very laudable as far as the NCLEX is concerned. Now, this, for all you know, is just going to shape how you reason. Okay, no one will ask you direct questions on this, but it will shape how you reason and think of how you answer a question. The very first one that I'm talking about will be functional psychosis. That one is wow, bottom. The patient is crazy, and there is nothing you can do about it. Excuse my language for that. We can try to sugarcoat words like mentally challenged, but this is really a lunatic, somebody who is purely having trouble. This is probably because maybe he was with a boyfriend or so, and the boyfriend just left him, and the thing, I mean, something just strange happened, and that's all to it. She's never had an insight or she's not reality based anymore. So that one is the functional psychosis. That one is when you go and take a substance, when you want to be with the most high God. And so you decide to take in smoke to build clouds for yourself so that you can live in them. And then the Bible will describe you as having a face of clouds. Then you can start with maybe Indian hemp, or how do you call it in your local area? How do you call it in your local area?
Igbo.
Igbo. It don't they smoke Igbo.
In Tampe.
In Tamfe.
Oui.
We. Over here, some people actually call it weed. They add the D to it. There was in Habain. Somebody was even called a herbalist. I thought he could cure illnesses, but my perception was wrong because of how he could combine some leaves. There was a driver who once upon a time went on a program with us. It was a military wedding ceremony that we attended in Kumasi. And then when we were about returning, the driver had promised the mom that he will be bringing a military vehicle to Kumasi, and so he will pick her alongside because the mom wanted to come to Accra. So this guy went to pick the mom. We didn't even move, let's say 15 minutes. Then he decided we should pass through the closest military barracks so that he could have some rest. In fact, that rest, it took us about 5 more hours before he could wake up. Apparently, he had taken some coke. It was actually in a coke bottle. And then he requested the boys pour. Later, we got to know they say it's called Ujomi or something. I don't know if any of you have heard of it before, Ujomi. And if you listen to the driver's account, it looks like when he looks at a building, he could mention the names of the people building it, and he could give you with precision the year it was built. That substance he took in. Sunny, Enovizo, Ojomi. I don't know what they use in preparing those materials, but the guy could say with accuracy when a building was built. Okay. All right. Dementia. Those that the dementia I'm using here, I'm using it as a colloquial language. Those days, when a spirit came upon somebody, they would say the person was demented. Like in the religious text, like in the Bible, when Paul had some brief illness, they would say he was being tormented by spirits. And when you look at the Greek word, it's the same word for dementia. So dementia in this regard is just a neurodegenerative disorder. When we say degenerate, generative means something that can come up, something that can come into existence, something that can sprang out, generate, bring it up, bring it on, make it alive, create it. But degenerate means it cannot come alive. It cannot regenerate itself. So liver cells, for example, when your liver cells are having troubles, they can regenerate themselves. The cells can come afresh, and then you may be healed of whatever situation you went in. Unlike that, the nervous system or your brain is quite a delicate. Screen I'm sure how I better no. In a way, it is called Bekui. You know, they call Akweteshi Epoha. Drink for the poor man. Okay. Thank you, brothers. Now, with the neurodegenerative, the nerves, that one, when your brain cells die, you may not get them back to life. So, for example, in orthodox medicine, when a patient's heart decides to stop beating, the main aim is that any of the body parts, even when they are deprived of oxygen for a while and they die, it's quite easy for them to be repaired or regenerate as time goes on. But with the brain cells, when they are deprived of oxygen for about 8 to 10 minutes, if you don't take care and they die, that will be all to it. Your best case scenario is to use other parts of your brain, to train other parts of your brain to do that thing. If you want to understand what I'm trying to say, you see, every day you've been brushing your teeth with your dominant hand. Now interchange it. Try brushing your teeth with the less dominant hand. You see how difficult it is. You have to train the other part of the brain. The body is like the brain cells. Some of the nerve systems helps in this ipsilateral and contralateral kind of principles. It's like the right part of the brain is controlling the left part of the body and vice versa. So when a person has stroke, it's as if say is the right if the right part of the brain is what is having the issue, then you mostly see the weaknesses on the left part of the patient. So when you go and meet a CPR situation, a situation where a patient is not having a pulse, the heart is not pumping, and it's been quite some few minutes, like let's say 1 to let's say 8 minutes, then it means that the brain cells are active. You can actually manually push the heart to eject blood from it. That is what we call the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, manual chest compressions. You are pushing your blood because you want to keep the brain cells active. It's the whole idea. So sometimes somebody can be dead, but clinical death in some perspective. For example, I was once on a debate panel and I was debating that there have been instances people were dead and then maybe doctors pronounced them dead. They took them to mortuary and then you could see that they were coming back to life. In all honesty, taking religious lens aside, it was a misdiagnosis, or there were some sort of activities in the brain so little for even an electromagnetic device to detect them. That is why we thought probably the person was gone. So sometimes when there is a little bit of rekindling and the nerves decide to maybe spike or generate impulses, the person can be brought back to life because there are nodes in your heart. The sinoatrial node is a natural pacemaker. If your nervous system is working well, it can just pump back into life. It does happen. But when we pronounce you dead, clinical death, proper death, I'm telling you, nothing can bring you back. Nothing on earth will bring you back. If you have prophets who can bring people back, there is a very close mortuary at Kolebu. Some people died not so long ago. We can give them to him or her. And then there have been claims, but in reality, sometimes some of these claims, there is a different explanation to them. The dementia type of psychotic patient is the one who is aging, said that the nerves are just dying out and they are not coming back. So any condition, you can even describe stroke as a neurodegenerative kind of condition. You now have to train a different part of the brain. That's why such individuals need what we call rehabilitation or occupational therapists to just teach them to use the body part again. Sometimes they are able to get close to their natural state. But in most cases, if you really knew them before, you can see that there's still a little bit of a defect in how they use their bodies, unless there was no massive damage in the brain. So the neurodegenerative one, I want you to think of any condition, Any one like the Parkinson's, the what else can you think of? Another one starts with A. A neurodegenerative.
Alzheimer's.
Those are proper neurodegenerative conditions. The nerves are dying out and they will not come back. It's you bought an old car, you bought a car. The engine that you are using it today wouldn't be the same engine 10 years later. iPhone battery, the percentage decreases as you keep using them. It's like that. So when you get a condition like that and the person is having psychotic symptoms, you should understand that this type of psychotic symptom is the neurodegenerative type. So I will listen to Asabi on what he has to offer about the neurodegenerative kind of psychotic symptoms and how we normally approach it. So that I'll apply that. Then we have the delirious type. Now, delirium is more of an impairment in judgment, okay, and some other memory loss and other things. But these patients mostly also present with psychosis. This is where some classifications will tell you that it's from a metabolic disorder. Like there was a real illness in the body. In my local language, they will say when you're high fever. I don't know if any of you have heard it before. When you have an infection and it crosses the blood-brain barrier, it gets into your brain. It can make you have psychotic symptoms. So it's like that. A condition like thyrotoxicosis. Guys, do you know about thyrotoxicosis? Thyrostorm.
Yes.
You see that it's a pure metabolic disorder, right? Where the thyroid hormones have excessive thyroid hormones, or maybe after a surgery, the person's hormone kicks in, or the drugs that we give, then the person just starts having every metabolic activity in the body going up. Metabolic activities include respiration, digestion, elimination, everything and everything is part of the metabolic activities in the body. Everything going up high, including the pulse rate, BP, everything about. Okay, so this is mostly from a secondary type. Okay, maybe there was something that we this person. This person has a very noisy background, and the person has been unmuting himself. When the person unmutes himself and there is a noisy background again, I will mute him. I will mute him. This mute, if M is equal to 2, find S that type of mute sum. Maybe mute 2 beer. What? All right. Okay, so we've seen the different types. You are mad because you are mad. You are showing symptoms of madness because your nerves are dying out. They are not coming anew. They are not refreshing themselves. Dementia type. You are having madness-like symptoms simply because you have a condition that has gone way above where it should be. Like in the case of cancer, it has metastasized to the brain. Atrasia. So you begin to do that. Now, let's go into what the psychotic symptoms in general are so that you can recognize that, oh, this is actually a psychotic symptom. We have what we call delusions. Delusions are, if my memory serves me, like false perceptions of nature. Okay. They are not true. What is reality to us, the ontological principles underlying that physiology or philosophy, you are not getting it. Yours is quite different. Some of them may involve what we call delusions, paranoid delusions, paranoid delusions. Now, with the paranoid delusion, you could see that the person has this sort of suspicion or fear about others' motive. There is another one that is very close to it, which is the persecutory delusions. Now, the difference between the two, the paranoid and then the persecutory is more of a religious word in origin, where people who portray some religious or carry some messages are being killed for the message or for who they are. Or if you are being pursued by some groups because of identity, because of whatever, you can describe that as persecution. The difference between the paranoid in my local language, I can say something like otain, or in simple language, paranoid simply means hatred. And this is, the hatred is just like what you think others are having towards you. But the persecutory has got a principle that makes it special, and that principle is harm. When there is an aspect or an element of harm, something that will really get to the body or get to your psyche deeply to torment you in a very different angle. Physical harm is mostly a cardinal thing. About 80% of the time, it's physical harm. So for the paranoid, somebody can tell you someone is following me or my phone is being tied by the FBI. I feel the government is spying on me. These days, if the government is spying on you, it could be true, especially those in advanced countries. Yeah. But someone is trying to poison me. You know, the poison has some element of harm. Someone broke into my heart. Someone choked me with a knife or something. Then it's quite a different thing. It's not real. Sometimes we have doubts or fears, superstitious beliefs. These are quite different from what I'm explaining. With when a person is having delusions, it's not quite easy to just say a sentence or two and the person will just bounce back from whatever he or she understood. No, it doesn't work that way. Their perception is quite real to them. Okay. We also have an example like grandiose delusions, as the name suggests, grand, something big. Feels he's the most intelligent person in the world. I quite remember when we went to a psychiatric unit in Ghana. That was Pantang. Um, there was this story told by one of the lecturers. He said that two gentlemen had come to look for a patient and they were shown the reception to sit. They were in this modernized suit, very nicely dressed gentlemen. And whilst they await for whatever connection is it that they will get to their patient, I think one of the patients on the ward had broke free or whatever, had escaped. And so he entered there. He entered there with the cutlass and he said, "Behold, I am Jesus. I have come to bless you in peace." You should see the gentleman in the room. It wasn't easy at all. So I think it took the lecturer said he saw the scene and he asked, who is that there? Then this patient said, "It is me, thy master Jesus." You could tell that this guy is a King James Jesus. I said, "So what are you doing there, Jesus?" "Well, I have come to bless these men in pieces." Then the teacher was like, you pa Jesus, why have you forgotten your values? Has your philosophy changed or what? Can't you see these men are already blessed men? Huh? Look at their ties, flying ties, and their dressing. Will you take your dressing to the people in Ward 3 and Ward 4 and stop that nonsense you are doing? They say, "I'm Jesus." Then the guy, I think they said he turned himself 3 times and then he said, "As thou say it, thy master do it." Hey, King James Jesus in here. So he left the scene. Guys, it's not easy. Sometimes it could be somatic delusions. And especially with the somatoform disorders, which in future we will learn, you get to know that most people are suffering from that. For the men, it's about their penile size. They want big pics, dicks, or whatever they call it. And then our women, I think, also want some hips, some buttocks in some places. I'm going straight to the point, right? They are all somatic. Sometimes people's perception about what even makes them attractive, genuinely, if you are to let me conduct a simple, there be her boys in the big one. I don't research a big one. Can be boost our boys in his own petroana. Well, for me, there are so many things that men would like to have in women. Okay. It's not necessarily those things that you are probably thinking about. There is even something like body tilapia when you go to Ghana. They will explain what the tilapia is for you. BBL and what have you. I mean, people spend lots of money trying to look what nature. I at a point, like you see, I was a very religious guy growing up, but I also got the chance to explore things. I watched pornography. I used to bath with when I was in the senior high school. I bathed with men. When I was with military men, I also bathed with men. And when I say men, I mean men. There are people you enter the bathroom and you may shout for help. You, the man, no. Hey, brother, what is that? What are you carrying over there? You see, there are things like that which may maybe make you question whether you are or what did I say? But I mean, you also see that you will also see that maybe somewhere along the line you are also aiming high. But my dear men, I'm not going to worry about it. This is psychiatric that we are doing, so we are allowed to counsel alongside. You see, when you go out there, the researches that we are having suggest that it's not necessarily size that satisfy women. Those women that you are hearing shouting and then praising sizes, they are mostly prostitutes or people who have had several encounters with different men. Okay, they have multiple sexual partners. That's why they are able to decipher between which one is this and which one is that. And some of them will even tell you, say, it's not even about how heavy, but how you use it. They tell it. But in a study that I quite remember, what made women really enjoyed intercourse or intimacy was a connection or the affection for the man. That one scored high. Yes, it was not necessarily about the size. There's a difference between how social media present things and how if you find a scientific method of inquiry, you also get. Okay. And then the women, I'm telling you, most of the men, see, when it comes to pleasure, they may want some things around some women, but when it comes to settling down with a woman, they will likely settle with somebody who reasons well, who they connect well, who respects them, who, depending on the culture where they find themselves. So please look, look beyond some of these things, because it's not what people normally say that is it. What you are saying or you are seeing is called anecdotal evidence. You see, say, oh, Chrome Hadias will be a Kasafa. Everybody is talking about this that way. Try to conduct a scientific research with the proper approach, and you see that no, it's quite different from what people just say. When they are isolated and they are given the chance to really talk about it in its reality, it's quite different. So, my dear sister, my dear brother, do not harm yourself. If she or he doesn't like you, there will always be somebody who genuinely likes you. Okay. Yeah. Another classical feature of psychotic symptoms is hallucinations. And we have different forms, and they are quite classified according to the senses we have in human sense data, like auditory, visual, tactile, gustatory, and olfactory. The meanings are there. Auditory has got to do with hearing, visual, seeing, sight, tactile, touching it, gustatory or gustatory. It's amount. It's with taste, your tongue. I feel like no, this is quite different from somebody eating and having an effect. Like their condition, somebody can have COVID-19 and not really having a taste. Don't say the person is hallucinating. No, don't be just don't go in that hasty conclusions. It could be something else. But people without eating can even tell you, say, I hear the papa hair. Like eating something which does not even exist, but the person is actually feeling it on the tongue. Okay. Sometimes too, people smell things that are not existing, but there are some smells they are real because you, the person having the honam kankan or body odor, sometimes like Maud will tell you, the scent has been with you for a while, so you have modernized. Your nose have been tuned to magnifying smelling 78.2. So you are not hearing your you see, you are not hearing. You're not smelling yourself. Or sometimes when you add a perfume to yourself, you bought a very expensive perfume. You feel like this perfume, they've written all the perfume, meaning it should last long. The guys who are into buying perfumes, they owe the toilet also, they have very sweet opening, but mostly they do not last long. But the eau de perfume, they have strong openings most of the time, and then they last longer. So if you want what lasts longer, these are the notes you should be looking for. And then you add whatever you want, whether oceanic, fruity, or whatever. Huh. But when you take eau de parfum, for example, and you spray a couple of times, you open it so well, and it gets to a time you're not feeling it, you still want to. No, it's just because of how your senses are training itself. They are being used to that thing for a very long time, and so they kind of have a way of it. And it also applies to sight, as in the context of science, what we call relativity. When you move at a constant speed for a very long time, certain things may become a little bit constant for you. For example, if you move, according to science, if you are able to move or travel at the speed of light, time will become like time will halt. You will stop time if you can move at the speed of light. Okay. And so, for example, if somebody is moving from our Milky Way galaxy, the Earth, we are in a group of planetary bodies called the Milky Way galaxy. If we are to move from our galaxy to the closest galaxy, which will be the Andromeda, and we travel at the speed of light, going, you will go. Maybe it will take you 2 or 3 days, or maybe 2 days, or even a day, or some minutes to get to the Andromeda galaxy. But coming back, by the time you come back, within the same time you reach now, you turn back and come on it, at least 150 years have gone, or maybe 1,000 years could have passed on Earth. I don't know the exact timings, but it's like time has frozen for you. And if you want to understand this wisdom, just look at the time zones we have on Earth, just the little time zones that we have. So this should give you an idea of how it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about delusions. Now we are looking at hallucinations. Now, with the hallucinations, we have some forms. We have what we call illusions. Now, with illusion, there is a referent. When I talk about a referent, I'm talking about there is an object. For example, you are going to the psychiatric ward as a nurse, and then you decided to have this hair braid that looks a little bit, I want to use the positive word, that looks too special. You go there, and then a patient will tell you, "Oh God, may your name be praised. Today I have seen the head of Medusa." The head of Medusa. They will view you differently. And I think psychological phenomena have explained, say, it happens to mostly every human at a point in life, especially when you were in light for a very long time. Those boys have been wanting to buy wardrobes and hang your clothes inside. You say, you will put a needle at the back of your door and hang your trouser. When there is lights out, as your eye begin to accommodate, the trouser will now appear as a spirit coming to get you. It does happen, especially in Nigeria and Ghana, where there is random lights out. It appears like a scarecrow to you. It's so real. Yeah, that is an illusion. So these magicians or people who call themselves magicians, most of the time were creating illusions. I think there was one I used to do, Pam. You see this pencil? You see this pencil here? I can hold it and do this. You see the pencil is hanging by itself. You see? But if I'm to turn it to the camera, you see that actually there is something holding it. So if it creates an illusion for you to think that the person has beat some of the principles of physics or defied the laws of nature, but that is not it. But in the case of the psychotic person, it's not about whatever the laws of physics per se, but it's about the person's disassociation with nature or reality. What the person is seeing is quite different, but there is an object, there is a referent, there is something the person is referring to. In science, I quite remember when I was in SHS, we did something. There was an illusion created by critical internal angle or something. I've forgotten. It was called a mirage. You see, when you walk on a sunny day along the path, you will see that there is like a pool of water ahead of you. I don't know if any of you have come. Has any one of you like experienced that before? Like there is a pool of water. Yes, that is an illusion.
Yeah.
So when you get there and that thing is no more there, then you understand it was an illusion. It happens to us all, but to the psychotic patient, it's in a different reality or realm. But there is actually something there, and the patient is quite defining it in a different angle. I think those people who have post-traumatic stress disorders have that kind of thing. When a woman was abused by a man, sometimes like an unknown man, the person came in a mask and then destroyed everything down there and left. Sometimes when the woman sees any man at all, especially in that, the person feels, no, this is the person I need. Solomon, do you want to say something?
Please.
Hello? Oh, okay. All right, I want before I give you how to solve these issues, let's test this waters. I want to test your knowledge on how you answer questions. Let's answer this in the chat box. It's been a while. Mrɔfo nom coffee o. Obitumi yɛ coffee adeɛ wei ma. Grawa o, we grawa pa. Na ɔtwe mmiɛnsa kora na ɔnom wie. I want you to take note of the diversity in the answers, okay? Just take note of the diversity. And what that should tell you is that we are all nurses. We are all going to write the English. People are saying this, others will say that. Hey, but we will all go and say we met questions on this. And arguably, we may say this kind of question is an easy question. Or guys, what do you think? Are these not the easy types?
Not really. Yeah, not really.
Okay. So you could see the difference in answers. All right, let's not waste time. Actually, the answer is A, and I will teach you why it's A very soon. Okay, thank you for participating. The very first one is the functional one. Those that took drugs or did something really bad and then they had the psychosis. They are crazy. Proper crazy. No be say this one no be say or God don't tire or something. No. Or God don't craze. Okay. Like schizophrenia or a major depressive disorder. And then mania. What I'm going to teach you is this. For such a person, acknowledge their feeling. They are having psychosis. They do not have a base with reality. No. So present what is real for them. Then you set limits. Afterwards, you enforce the limit. Hey, I'm seeing two angels. They are talking to me. Ah, la 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 la. Zakarabunzu zakamparabasa. Hey, zakada. One says his name is Nimokafrim. Jesus. The other one says his name is Ayentemfrem. Then you are like, Kwabena, what what is going on there?
Bieni.
Is this I'm seeing angels right here. Can you see them? I'm like, no, Kwabena. In all honesty, where exactly are they standing? Where the iron is? But please, there is no one. See, this is my hand. There is no one here. I'm not. You see, I can't hold them. There is nobody here. You see, I've presented reality. Your eyes, you have eyes. Psalm 115. You have eyes, but they see not. Nose have you. I'm saying, say, there are no angels here. What you are seeing is not real. Okay, let me ask them to give me something. Nimokafrim, please bring me water. Put it in my mouth. Then he behaves as if he's drinking. Said, did you see Nimokafrim give me water? A Juana who said, no, we cry religiosity or bottom. Okay. So you have to be real to them first. Then say, Crash, it is time for bathing. It is time for bathing. If you want to do your bath, fine. If you don't want to do your bath, then let me take the other patients and go and bath. Oh, I want you to know. I want you to see it. I don't see. If they keep doing that, set the limit. Say, hey, I don't have enough time, and I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk about something that is not real. If he perceives them, maybe if he starts to hold you, like me, you may need some sort of restraints. Find your way of enforcing it. Let me give you more examples with written words, and you get it. Like a person with schizophrenia tells you that the government is spying on them. You have to first of all acknowledge their feeling. I understand that you feel like the government is spying on you. Then what makes it like you are really appreciating the person's feeling is the comment. A comment like that must be very scary. That must be dangerous. That must be very uncomfortable. Oh, that must be so pleasing to hear. That kind of thing. But go ahead and present what is there. I can assure that there is no evidence to support the belief that the government is spying on you. I am willing to talk to you about this, but I'm not going to engage you in a debate about whether or not the government is spying on you. Then what goes on next is that you enforce them. If the person continues to insist the government is spying on them, you may need to end the conversation. That's another way of enforcing a limit. Okay. So this is the approach to somebody with psychosis. So when they bring those questions and you don't even really know what the condition is, at least when you are picking the answers, something should inform you, say, this question does not really acknowledge the person's feeling, but you let me try and acknowledge the person's feeling, at least for once. Then we take it from there. This is some of the tricks. Now let's go to the type that deals with the dementia. You know, the dementia type is like the person is never going back, like the nerves are gone. So, for example, in stroke, if the person was able to grab a cup, it may need constant training with a different part of the brain to be used in precision. Like you train the person for a while. That is rehabilitation. So you are redirecting them, kind of thing. So for this approach, first you acknowledge their feeling and you redirect them. You are there, and then someone comes. Hello, please, my son is in there. Tell him I'm ready. You should let me in. I'm feeling cold outside. Excuse me, ma'am. Who is your son? Someone bought in. This is where he lives. Oh, no, ma'am. This is apartment 532. Someone is at apartment 32. This is 532, 532. You might have not seen the 5. Okay, thank you so much. Then I'll go to apartment 32. The next moment, he's on another person's door. I'm looking for someone watching. Then the person, you see, the very first person, if that person was aware of some of these psychosis from dementia, that presents a different reality. This is more like she's forgotten things. Let's be real. Okay, she's forgotten things. It's not about the site that maybe 5, if it was actually 532 and he's going to 32, and there was that parallax or whatever, that oversight, that is fine. But as she keeps going to different doors asking, the next time we will see her will be on BBC Live searching for a missing woman or something. You see, so redirect them. It's not only in physical terms, sometimes in their thoughts and what they feel they are going through. Do you know that at this stage they can tell you they've not eaten for 72 years? Have you heard that before? Ever since you left us,
Yes.
I've never eaten. Jesus. My in-laws are weak, you know. I've never eaten for the 17 days or so you've gone. You've not eaten for 17 days. You redirect them. Say, oh, I understand that is not so much of a good thing. But I heard maybe probably you were just eating lighter foods. Maybe because I saw that she even gave you bread at the bread is also here, Adrian. Can you bread? It's bread food. You teaming up with her to get me killed forever. You see, you find your ways and means to redirect them. Sometimes it works, other times you go in tangentiality. But if you're lucky, it comes back. If I watch a very sad video, most times when I do this and I have the luxury of time, I show that video, but not today. Today we are far behind time. There was this guy, I think he had dementia from Alzheimer's or so, and then he was asking the son who the son is. Then the son kept redirecting him, said, I am your son, my name is this, your name is that, and you live a very good life. You came on pension, you've built, you have so many houses, you have lots of money about this in your bank account. Then the man said, really? Wow. Then I did well. I said, yes, you did well. I said, so if I have this bank account, then what did I do? Was I having a wife? Say, yes, you had a first marriage. Like, I mean, you keep redirecting them. If you're lucky, some of them be like stay and they build on that to do their next Western anyway. But yes. Let me give you an example of something. A person with Alzheimer's disease is experiencing hallucinations of seeing their deceased spouse in the living room. Now, this is the approach. You have to acknowledge the person's feeling. I understand that you are seeing your spouse. This must be very comforting. Oh, this must be very pleasant to see. Oh, this must be a very nice experience. But can you tell me more about your spouse? How long have you known your spouse? Then she starts describing. If you're lucky, she herself will come to the point where she mentions the spouse was involved in an accident. And that actually also redirects them. It reshapes their thoughts. You can likely bring them back. It sometimes works, but not total. But this is the approach as far as the NCLEX is concerned. We're not wasting time. The other one is delirium. That one is from something. What is the most commonest cause of confusion in the elderly?
UTI.
Okay, I wanted you to say infection. Then I'll yes. So infection is the leading cause. So if an elderly person, who would you classify as elderly? Who will you classify as an elderly?
50 years and above.
65.
Okay. 60, 65. I mean, whatever you say is true.
60.
Say yours. Ola as you say.
65. Pension.
Okay. So you think everybody on pension, depending on which country you are described as an elderly, right? I think they even have some terms like senior citizens in some Western countries. So when you come to the US, you hear something like senior living. They really take care of their elderly people. Omutimi kura mo mba ebi tena. Ehwe wo mo. Oman papa no nie. Take good care of their elderly people. For such people, you acknowledge their feeling and then you reassure about safety. But the most important thing is treat whatever led to that. If it was thyroid issues, treat it. If it was infection, treat it. This type of psychosis does not abide forever. If it was cancer, radiate it, take it out, or find some palliative care. That will be it. Because most of the time, the delirious ones are able to be, if I don't know if the English is correct, but we can reverse it to some extent. Okay. Not all cases, but most cases. So with them, when you acknowledge their feeling, you reassure about safety. Now, all these things that I'm telling you, it may be quite difficult for you to recall anyway, but it is training you to have a different perspective. You see, before we started, I gave you a question. Yeah. I'll give you similar questions, and you see that your approach and understanding is like the question is no more like a nurse answering, it's more like somebody who is understanding how the human brain functions now and is tackling it. Okay. So your approach to a person with the delirious type. There's an example. Like a person with UTI has become confused and is saying that they are cockroaches crawling on their skin or something. So you understand that, oh, I'm very sorry to hear. This must be very uncomfortable. This must be so Hey, Professor, mommy. This is not a nice experience. I understand that you feel there are bars crawling on your skin, but please show me your hand. Are they all over this place too? She says yes. So, oh, wow, I understand, but I can't see any bags here. You can see me even passing my hands here, and there are no bags there. I'll call another person to also verify with me if you don't mind. There is none. Okay, so you try to let them know what the reality is. And mostly you will see this, guys, this is very practical. You will love it if you are able to kind of redirect a person of such nature back to what the person should do. And with those with the delirious type, mostly they are those that will fall. They can't walk, but they are walking. You see, they use walkers to walk, but they have started moving without it. They use a cane, but they are not taking it. They are supposed to be in a wheelchair, but they want to move by themselves. Some of them even think they can fly. So these people are those that will pull their IVs out. You need to ensure safety. Safety is paramount. What are some of the things we can do to prevent falls on the wall? Let's brainstorm.
Adequate lighting.
Adequate lighting.
Installing grip bars in the wall.
I didn't hear that well. Can you repeat it, please?
Like grip bar.
Okay. Especially bathrooms, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Dry floors.
See again?
Dry floors.
Dry floors when they are wet. What else?
Removing throw rags from the hallway, the walkway rather.
Otherwise, they will step on it and slip, right?
Yes, please.
What type of
Nursing them on low beds.
Low beds, good.
Wearing non-skid shoes.
Non-slip. Something that will not slip, not that too smooth one. What else?
Providing side rails.
Yes, side rails, especially in clients who have conditions like who are likely to have what?
Seizures.
There are 4 side rails. If all 4 side rails are up, it means what?
Restraining.
It means restraint.
Restraining.
You should do just about what? 3 maximum, right?
2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mostly you can lower one of those at the head side. That one is much better and safer. Do you guys know about bed alarms?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All the beds in the US are mostly equipped with bed alarms. Sometimes you can set the sensitivity that if the patient just sit on the bed, it should alarm for you. Even you can set it to set that when he moves, it should alarm for you. You can set the tone to loud, medium, or low. It's up to you. You can also say that, okay, when the patient leaves the bed completely, that is when it should alarm for you, and it's really helpful. There is also something called a call bell. Do you know about that? Call bell.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is something that they will press to call for the nurse, right?
Yes.
If they need anything, they can call for you. It really helps because if you don't come and take it for them, they will try to take it for themselves and they will give you another work to do. So for such patients, safety is paramount. And we have heard so many wiping floors of water splash. Yes, we have heard so many things about this. So let's take a look at what you are how you should approach psychotic patients in general. Do not argue with them. Argue with a psychotic patient will only make them feel more frustrated and anxious. Instead, try to stay calm and reassure them. Sometimes the best move you can do is to leave the scenes sometimes. Then, acknowledge their feeling. You realize that almost every one of them acknowledge their feeling comes first. Avoid triggering it. Don't go and do something that will trigger. You know this patient, when he hears words like this, or when he see a man, he will go into this. Don't try. Don't do that. Try to keep them away from their triggers.
I want to because the boy the shop box in my
Dressing for ne koyi omu nya no mo ni na
Hey, Tana, offer to help them in a practical way. Sometimes all that the patient needs is food, oh. But you rather see a confused patient and then you just want to give all sort of psychiatric medications. When you take the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have physiological needs, which includes the basic care that a nurse could offer for a patient. So, as part of the NCLEX test-taking strategies, in a way, they want us to really adapt the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is mostly applied well, very well, in the psychiatric and therapeutic communication type of questions. And you guys should understand why, because all these things has got to do with perception. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tutua can hear me. Oh. Tutua, please check. So I was saying that with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a test-taking strategy, mostly for the conventional medicine, medical nursing, surgical nursing, obstetrics, you just go ahead and do what is important. Like, for example, mostly in the first trimester, the woman is important. The baby, we are not sure whether this baby will be alive forever or not. Whatever this baby is going to be for the first, we don't care. But in the second and sometimes even late part of the second and third trimester, the baby becomes important. That one, the baby is coming. We know a baby is coming. We don't want to lose the best Einstein because you, this mother, no, when we give you half base times height, you will get it wrong. So in developed countries, they would like to secure the child and they don't care. Even if the child comes and you can't take care of the child or you don't take care of the child, they can take the child from you. And trust me, they will take care of the child. The government would. They will take care of the child. They will take the child from you. And you will pay child support to the government. More dynamic can say be a new baby they child support to the commerce system in their no. And I stand a cast of special more.
No, so it depends on who makes what amounts of money, okay? And then it depends on the arrangements they come to. So sometimes someone might say, okay, I would offer to take the kids in for, the whole time, and then the other party you pay the support depending on the difference in their pays or their salaries. But other times too, if they are doing like the co-parenting when they have children, say on equal days or equal weeks, nobody pays anybody anything. You just, exchange the children when they need be. That's about it.
We have musumuru. Musumuru. I knew you would give me good information about it because I've met several ladies. And man, no, they are paying child support, and I was quite surprised. They are nurses, so obviously they are earning high, and their work clothes are high. Of course, must have been a It makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if the person is agitated or aggressive, that one, seek help. Sometimes call for backup. Call for extra hands. So, as a means of recap, when the patient is having functional psychosis, as in properly mad, you are acknowledging their feeling and presenting reality to them. And with that, if they are still playing stubborn, play stubborn, you set limits and you try to enforce the limit. With those with degenerative conditions like old age and the likes, such conditions that does not permit the brain to generate its cells, you are looking for answers that will acknowledge their feeling, but redirect them back. An initial screen here. Then we have those that are delirious or probably a disease that cross the blood-brain barrier. Okay, that one you're looking for answers that acknowledge feelings and reassures about safety. Let's try these questions. Let's try this. Enough of the
Patient 6 na wo ho.
patients.
Ba ko 6 na sia won.
Oh, Tana, what is the boy? If I told you be what Temasena me new free page in so why Mr. Said a bay a boy recording. Made the Bajinam, me patron. Tana Miss Roy and Namame, why?
I tell you.
Obasemi hunu na me. Okay, so bet me do face a intimidate a rather be trim. A rather boba home by a rather man in Nadame, a rather man in Nadame. Tana Pessoa that dame. Na me pato Tana no eye Tana City and her Tana keke. That's it. All right, guys, what's the answer?
B. Option B.
You see how about 180 participants, the word is participants, and only about a handful would answer the questions. It's normal, it's accepted. It's like that in certain situations. I'm encouraging you to partake for a reason, because of how I teach. Sometimes when I teach, you don't even have to go and open book again. It just stays. You just get the principle, and that's all to it. You don't even need to memorize anything.
It's very true.
Yeah. Now let's look at one major thing: depression. There is a reason why I'm treating depression, and because of that, I decided to make it a free class. There was, I think there is this woman. You have a child. I don't know the sex of the child, but it's like you are born one, but you are about to write. You are about to write the NCLEX. You are not in my paid class. Please, after this class, talk to the admins. Identify yourself to them. I think they will have something for you. Okay, let's just talk to them and we see the way forward. Depression is a serious mental health condition characterized by persistent feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and lack of interest or pleasures in activities. This is just an idea about what people are trying to explain. But you and I know that depression goes beyond this. Sometimes you are not sad. It's not like you don't have hope. And it's not like you don't have interest in some things, but you know you are depressed. What? You know you are depressed. You know there is something is just not right about your life. But on the NCLEX, it's a serious thing. And the serious complication we are about to talk about is suicidal ideation. And it is the more reason why I decided to do it free class. Forget about the acronyms, but let's look at some of the symptoms. I mean, I might have jumped over. So as part of the science, and somebody said unexplainable feeling. Yeah. Some feelings you can't explain. And do you know that the word unexplainable is actually in medicine? It's a word we use in medicine. You see, medical science at a point, if the physical sciences had their own strength, they would have kiboshed the way we do our things. You know, you can do inductive reasoning, and then you can do deductive reasoning. But in medicine, we use a different type of reasoning. I'll let someone fish it out. I think we call it abductive. Abductive. It's a different principle. The doctor is able to say, looking at these symptoms, there is a likelihood that you may be having pneumonia, or a staphylococcus organism is the one doing it for you. That is abductive reasoning. Deductive is like, we have the deductive and then the inductive. the sun rises every morning, so tomorrow it will rise, that kind of thing there. Or maybe all men are like, when you go into philosophy, they will teach you those things. But a word like unexplained, sometimes we use words like primary. We can say essential. Sometimes we say cryptogenic, just to describe the type, like cryptogenic cystic fibrosis, essential hypertension, or they use primary. They just want to tell you they don't really know what causes it. In all honesty, unexplained weight loss, unexplained sadness. You can't explain it with any tangible thing. It is in medicine. And when religious people try to talk about this to the commoner, they think the person is religious and is making things up. No, in medicine, we have things that are not explained, but we add it to the courses. Okay. All right. So, well, sleep disturbances, interest loss, anhedonia, that is lack of pleasure in previously enjoyed activities. Anhedonia. Normally, when you see the word "e" or "a" in front of a medical term as a preface, it's trying to tell you the thing is absent. So if a patient is febrile, fever means the person is having an increased temperature, but febrile. Okay. If the person is ecteric, what do you mean? What do we mean by ecteric? What do you think? Ecteric. Something like this, ecteric. It has got something to do with the liver. So what comes to mind?
Jaundice.
On this. So if the person is not an ecteric, meaning the person is not on this. Okay?
Yeah.
So those are some of the words that you need to know. I don't kill myself with psychiatry words that begins with anhedonia, evolution. What is evolution? Voilution. Have you heard of willpower before?
Yes, that's the
So evolution will be what?
This is a lack of motivation.
You can take it like that: lack of motivation, lack of willpower, lack of, the pull or push to help you do something. So when people talk about free will, that debate, are we created with free will? I normally take a very different stand when I argue about those things. I say we have willpower, so that I don't classify it as free will. When I say willpower, it changes the discuss perspective, and I'm able to talk extensively. Now, energy loss, difficulty concentration, appetite loss, psychomotor changes. Motor has got to do with movement, okay? So challenges with moving and all those things. And the most important one is the suicide. Now, it could be major, the major depressive disorder, or it could be the milder types. That's what they call the dysthymia, okay? Now, you are not, at this moment, going to memorize what is in the statistical manual. No. It's not our duty to make you, hey, Akwan was me, the guy looks like me. This picture was me and a guy generated with AI for me. I told him I wanted to look sad. This is how sad I look. Hey, Charlie. But this looks like the 50 year me, like 50 years old.
Yes.
Oh, but like joke, was so.
Oh wow.
What's an girl, no?
The girl, Ejano, exactly what I'm thinking of. The girl, Ejano. So we all even have a depression that can happen after birth. How do you call that one? After giving birth.
Postpartum depression.
But some we have seasonal affective disorder. Sometimes when the weather changes, and it's true. This prior to this, psychology and pseudoscience, they're not too far. Psychology and pseudoscience are not too far. When psychology wants it to be scientific in nature, they just try to polish certain things to just make it repeatable. then it becomes a little bit scientific. Otherwise, most of the things we do in psychology are mostly pseudoscience, like what the psychedelics or these they're using hypnotists, like hypnotizing people. These are all a little bit pseudoscience. When I say astrology, you just know it's pseudoscience. Chemistry, numerology, those are all more of pseudoscience, but they are also some sort of psychology that is used. When there is a full moon, people begin to, I say, they get groggy. And time be, I say, like you wake, as if you wake somebody up when the person was trying to sleep properly. That kind of feeling. And they have tried to modify it so that it should not be something from a religious or spiritual perspective, and they are calling it seasonal affective disorder. SMOR. All right, let's look at what will make a person depressed: family history, chronic history, trauma, abuse history, substance abuse, postpartum period, and traveling from your dear country to another country.
Assembly.
So it's true. It's true.
Now you are laughing.
These, when you look at them, family history, their fun is common in their family, they do get it. Or maybe you have been sick for a long time. Then, we are aware that sicknesses or pain could kind of make you that thing. When I think of this, when they did this, I remember a biblical passage, okay? And then another one took out from the Quran. You see, there were people pursuing the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, peace be unto his name. And I think there is always this disciple with him that is almost always troubled. He's always having that feeling. So the Prophet, peace be unto him, told him, don't worry. I think the pursuers, they entered a cave. And when the pursuers came, the cave looked like some old ancient cave be with some spider webbings. Sunny, are you sleeping? With some spider webbings be there. So they are pursuing.
What? I'm here with you.
Is there something like that?
I didn't get the question.
You see, you were not here with me.
There's something like that.
There is some. Oh, good. Somebody has authenticated. Sunny was sleeping. There is something like that. Like in the Bible, there was this woman who was bleeding unceasingly. You heard of the story like that? There was a psychological aspect, because if you were bleeding, you were not allowed to come into among the Jews or so, because you were considered unclean. I'm pretty sure she even lived behind the walls. I don't know. I don't know how she could get closer to family, because all the rituals that family would sit to do together, she would be exempted. And the illness was more like, according to the narrative, she had sought so many doctors. But so I think she might be having financial difficulties as well. This woman should be depressed. Honestly, she should be depressed. Okay. Somebody is showing me a tool, Edinburgh postnatal depression skill. Oh, the day I was teaching maternity, I think I made mention of, no, it was pediatric, right? No, I think they have that one was the Edinburgh aging growth tool or something. But I also mentioned this one somewhere, even though I've not met it. But we have is it the DHQ now? Fred, what do we use? Is it the DHQ H9 or something 9, Q9 questionnaire? The depression questionnaire that ends with the H and that has a 9 and H, and I've forgotten the
PHQ9.
PHQ9. Thank you so much. That's the very commonest one that we use, PHQ9. I think it's even used mostly in the US hospitals. So when you go for a doctor's appointment, they want to see the PHQ9 to rate how depressed you are. Okay. Now,
Hello, Sabi.
yes, dear.
Yeah, this
form. It's what they are using recently. I gave birth just two months ago. Anytime I go to the hospital, I fill this form.
Wow.
Anytime they said I'm going to fill it for
Which country are you?
6 months. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey. Now you are yabe. Hey. Never be able to. Congratulations.
They be a qua. Oh, my feeling miss. I'm feeling me that though. I'm so bad feeling. To say 6 months. Was
Wow.
6 weeks? No, 6 weeks. It's okay.
Wow.
Until recently, when now my feeling.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. I mean, and I think it's good they do that, right?
Yes. Because I had said no, I was in a depression.
Oh, that is common everywhere, even in Ghana. After birth, depression will start, especially those of us who get to the MBU.
What is
You will be depressed the moment you enter there. I mean, the ICUs, neonatal intensive care units, and those stuff. So, postpartum depression is very popular. I don't know.
I had the old crana. One be your back home be she said depression. I know it. Out to say symptoms now, a science now, a book no, who experience it be pa. But
okay.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the main important thing, the reason why I held this class. And I'm going to do this. We have about 20 something slides, and then I'll complete it. Then I'll continue with the paid people, because this should be something we should talk about. Just like we have medical emergencies in conventional medicine, suicide is also an emergency in psychiatry medicine. Now, I don't know if there's anything like psychiatry medicine. In psychiatry, suicide is a major concern in individuals with depression, especially severe depression. So it means that with the severe depression, the person will cross the boundary between being non-psychotic to now psychotic. It's dangerous. The person will have some sort of delusions, some false perceptions. Then you will hear him say that he is the king of the Jews and he has to die for the sins of mankind and all that. You see, some of these things, it worries. Now, as part of your assessment for a psychiatric person, there should be regular assessment for suicidal ideations, their plans and means. It's not just about how, like, they having the ideation, but how they want to commit it is also very important, and how they will achieve it. Evaluate the severity, frequency, specificity of suicidal thoughts. Sometimes I just avoid unnecessarily explaining things because they are a little bit self-explanatory. I understand. I just try to give it a different thought, because who knows? There are people who sometimes do come to my classes, and I call them our people. Like, I've seen women whose husbands normally join our classes, and I've also met men whose wives would like to just listen to the lectures, whether they understand or not, they just stay. But those people in mind, I sometimes try my best to kind of present it in such a way that even if they do not really have organic medical knowledge and they are able to read and write a little bit, that they hear, I mean, they can have some idea about what we are talking about. So I try. And that's why I do like, but in all honesty, these are very easy to understand. Assess for any previous suicide attempts or self-harm. People who have had it before are likely to get it again. Assess for access to lethal means. Is it weapons, knives, any stuff or just like that? So you should be open up to know their real plans, anything that they would have wanted to use. Okay. Now this is how you go about it. Be direct when asking about suicidal thoughts and behaviors. you have seen that this person's depression is not the non-psychotic type. It has crossed boundaries to a whole deep one. It's dangerous. This person is really depressed. When I came from Ghana to the US, I went through a lot. I had been through military training and gone through some sort of mental toughness and then physical training for endurance sake. But when I came here, it was a different kind of challenge. Okay, it was more of being alone, but I would credit the military to some extent that it toughens me. But in all honesty, even with the military one, it is you who toughens yourself. Okay, so you choose to complete it. If you complete it, you have done it. Then I managed to be passing through it. 2 months along the line, getting to the third month, they brought another person from Mexico, arguably. Mexico is a country somebody from Ghana would like to even stay, if not for the drugs and other things. But I would rather say they are a bit developed than us, right? You agree with me, don't you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So this girl arguably is quite exposed to computer systems and how they care for people. Especially, I was coming from that communal type of nursing where you have about 34 patients, then 2 registered nurses, maybe 2 hacks and that kind of thing. Like what we have in the care homes and then the aged people. But over here, it's mostly a 5, 6, or 7 to patient ratio. And in that regard, oh, Fred, I see. It's not easy. So I realized that this lady was having challenges. She started escalating issues every day, complaining things to the. So I decided to get closer to her. Let me check and see if biological wife is not around before I say some nonsense. You mun check my message online and I'm ready. She even at a point needed sex, which I told her to be very careful because the way she was going about things, it was quite risky. Targeting doctors. I challenged her and then I spoke. She was like, "Oh no, it's not about that." But I saw it. I just said, "Okay."
Asabi, she's online, no.
Oh, not sure. Now, you see, and then I saw that when I begin to even distance myself a little bit, because she would want to say, "How are you?" And then I would want to respond back. But I am the type who is always lecturing, doing this. The busy type. She's not gotten the friend that she thought she was about to have. A married man with kids and having that kind of thing. The free little time I would go home or I'll be using it to teach or working on my research works and what have you. So I never was able to even I Jones was a chairman to do it's a one on some but I still said no, things were not well. So long story short, I was not able to keep really contact with her. Along the line, I also got some huge troubles at work. I was hired as a leader, and then they didn't want a black man leading them. I don't know. I am saying it that way, but it might not be that. But I got an issue, so I was home for about 4 months, and I mean I shared it with my old students, so they know the details of. And so I was vindicated eventually, but I never got depressed because I felt it. Things that I were teaching, this was the time to utilize it. And none of my students could tell from the way I had the interactions with them of steady calls, how I was maneuvering around. I was not even hungry. And the surprising thing was that my class was not monetized. So I was not getting any extra income anywhere. Those of you who are new, from 2022, I started teaching until February 2024. Oh, no, was it 2020? Yes. No, February 2025, this year, that's how I started monetizing the class. It has always been free, just like you are enjoying right now. Okay. It was the students, based on that issue. One day on my birthday, they threw a party for me. They decided to surprise me and all that. They had gathered money. Oh, they thought they were just honoring a teacher. But in all, like, honesty, that was something that was going to hook me up. And then I shared with them what had happened over the last 4 months. And some of the students shared tears. Why didn't you tell us? I said, I knew they were wrong. I knew all that allegations against me were wrong and they will come back to apologize. And they did. I even made declarations with faith. That is a faith-based system. I mean, I'm not preaching religion here. But it came to pass exactly as I wanted it and all that. So they changed my working place for me in a nutshell. This lady had a similar issue. She also changed from that place. But I'm telling you guys, I saw the lady back recently and I was sad myself. Hey, well, fun weight loss. Oh, this weight loss is palpable. You could see within that 4, 5, 6 months period. Well, she's lean. If you don't take her, you say maybe she's gotten some bad illness or something. So I tapped, hey, how are you? What's going on? Then it was like, But usually these people, they don't really type, For her to type, was a lot. So I took my time to listen to her. And guys, it was not easy. Hey. Please, when you are coming here, learn how to make yourself happy. This thing that I'm doing, to some extent, is creating wealth. It should create wealth, though in most of the situation, it's just making me stress. But I also use it as some sort of stress reducing agent. You know, when you came earlier, you see I was playing music and all that. If I'm to give chance to people who have traveled and are on this life, what they would tell you, you let me just say that, guys, what I'm saying, is it true or not? You just listen to them and see something.
It's true.
That is true.
True is a capital T.
It's not easy. Nobody nobody hates you. Nobody has even talked about you, but you realize that you are not you. You realize there is something awry about this country you are in.
So you feel like you want to go back to your country. You made a mistake.
Yeah, in some cases, people feel like that. People feel like, no, I should have stayed. That one, I felt like that when I went to UK, and then I had to use a friend's document to work. Warehouse Juma. I was emptying a 40-footer container. I woke up around 3 a.m., passed through the snow and that cold winter around November, December there in the UK. Go to work because you have to also be fast. And that time, a military man, and it was Sheikh Accra, I'm able to do it. So they loved me. And always they'll push me into that 40-footer container. And it's a shipping company, Yodel. So it's like anything anybody is shipping at all, somebody's old piano, somebody's big machine, you are supposed to lift it and put it on a belt. If it's not enough for the conveyor belt to drag it, you have to pull it down your Charlie. By 10 a.m., the work is done. Now, one casano bebano. By the time you come home, you will praise God for your life, keke. But I mean, it was still a state of mindset. I kept doing it because I knew I had to do it. What about you? Would you still feed your family if the only means to do that was this way? Or you rather steal and then they will catch you and your family will suffer after they've caught you? It's up to us. Life is how we make it, you know. I realize that all these things I'm going through is to one day, like this day, talk to you about them. But I'm saving the nitty-gritty, the real stories for later. I'll tell you a story of how I was inside and then something told me, walk outside in the cold. And I don't know how I walked outside the cold. I found a coin on the floor. Then I said to myself, it is not easy to find a coin. Those of you in developed countries, how is it easy to find a coin on the floor? It's not easy. Everything is digital. So when I found that, I said within my spirit, this is good luck. Something good should happen. Then I had a call from an old friend. I called back. He said, "Oh, Charlie, sorry, you mean so now I say, I came to the UK on a visit visa, doing some some school levels, but the school no, they don't give me student visa. And say, oh, Sammy, you come, you know, tell people. Me if I go Ghana, oh, Charlie, make I give you my document. The boy was called Samuel. I was also called Samuel. Charlie, it just worked like magic. Also, oh, take this bank account. Everything in it is yours. Use it for you. Or Charlie, it was just marvelous. Okay. So sometimes follow your heart, follow your instincts, try to make yourself happy. Find something that makes you happy. It's not easy, guys. When it happens to you, the feeling is different from when someone is advising or you are taking care of someone who is having it. Yours is very different. It was in that UK that I missed home. I missed going back to the barracks to have even performed my usual duties that I was really talking about. The typical duty back home, but it would have been better for that work. You will work, and in all honesty, when you travel, you will see your money. You will see, say, yes, they are paying you for your work, but you work for it. Work and nidoku. People who come to the US, UK, or developed countries and maybe are able to get a work that they do themselves, sit in offices, few. But majority of the case, if you really want to earn good money for the start, then you work hard. But if you want a minimal amount of money, then you find a very minimal, easy to do job. And sometimes the easy to do job, it requires you do more. So you see them fighting to pick extra shift. That's where they don't, because the work is quite easier. So guys, that's just a little bit of it for you. Now you are assessing somebody for that. So I'm telling you that ask the person directly. We are back to class. You are asking the person directly, do you want to kill yourself? Just most times when you ask it, the way it falls on them, they will tell you. Oh, wait a minute. Do you want to kill yourself? Are you planning to take your life? Be straightforward about it. Ask directly. Don't. There is a way of going around a non-psychotic patient, but this is a psychotic, a major depression. Go straight. Sometimes in your conversations with them, assess and see what will be their strength. This is Asabi. He plays organ. There is a likelihood he will find a church and play the organ there. This is Asabi. His uncle is a Muslim. He has been to the Maklanta. He can recite Al-Fatiha like something. He knows it all in his fingertips. At least he can greet Salam Alaikum to a Muslim, have a couple of discards to have, and they may see him. He has a class. He enjoys teaching and lecturing them and all that. Something keeps him busy. Something keeps his company. Somebody to share with. He has a wife. He has kids. He came back from a pool of military. Explore all those social support, religious support. If you see that the person is not getting any better thing, then you see that this person has a high tendency. So people who are from their birth countries, naturally introverted, they may not have much of a challenge here. But you and I, the sanguine muhima, would tu nanone kasa jese. For you, you have a burden. But sometimes it could even be nicer than home. It depends on where you stay. For me, at this stage, I really even do not want to move closer to my country people. No. Because of some experiences. Sometimes when you travel, you get some good hands trying to help. Be very careful. Those hands that help you, they give you two impressions. It's either people are good or people are bad. If you don't want to get two impressions about people, as in people are bad or maybe people are good, create yours. When the person is housing you with the aim of housing you for like 3 months, try within a month to see if you can get enough to start your own place and live. Even if it's a small place, start your life there. Move a little bit far away from them, like an hour drive, 2 hours drive. When you need food and it is very urgent, drive there in the 2 hours. You get some and eat. Apart from that, that is not. Those of you living alone, when I was in the military in my early years, what I learned, the lesson I learned is if you don't have money, it's different from you don't have food. So the moment I get my salary, one bag of rice and oil, I buy it. Then you have to make sure there is some female soldiers around you to beg for salt. Otherwise, if you want to be a gentleman like me, buy your salt. Enough rice bag to take you for the whole month. Africans can eat rice, different varieties. Yes, eat it that way. Even if it is some hot pepper, something you eat it. That one is better. Then you start planning the rest. When you have enough money, you bring the variety and you move on. But every month, make sure what you eat. Now you are a family man to make sure what the family will eat is there. Because we don't know the unforeseen. Something can happen. The money that you think you have saved and counting it towards God's blessing, something is going to happen within seconds, is going to go out. I'm not saying it should happen, but what if it does? How do you move forward? Back to the question. Treat all threats of suicide seriously. Don't be afraid to ask about specific plans. Hold on. Are you going to kill yourself? Are you going to kill yourself? So, I mean, hold on. How are you going to even kill yourself? Looking at the way we are here, how are you going? I doubt you can actually kill yourself. How? You can. You even don't have the skill. If you are lucky, he brings the skill out. He tells you he was going to use the rope that is in the bedroom. He will give you an idea. So you take cues from that. Okay. Be aware of the warning signs. Suddenly, the so-called depressed woman or man is now sharing goods and happy singing hallelujah. When you see it is actually a cardinal question on the NCLEX. When you see that sudden mood change, serious sudden, that is when they actually plan to end their life. When they are giving out all their things. There is this Colombian suicide severity rating scale that we can actually talk about. But I will skip it for now. We use it in the hospitals. You can take a screenshot of this one in the next 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can also take a shot of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's give the summary of what a person who plans to commit suicide will do. Okay. They would like to give away their favorite possession or throw away important belongings. Like I said, they become suddenly cheerful, express bizarre thoughts. What are they talking about? Like, you don't get the point of what they're saying. Sometimes they say, I want to kill myself. I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to end it all. This time is curfew for me. I won't be a problem much longer. All these things are going out. It's going to be over. Just take cues from all those things that they are saying. Let's manage them. Ensure safety. Hospitalize immediately. Hospital. Otherwise, they will kill themselves. Start one-to-one constant observation. This answers questions. Please, those of you sleeping, one-to-one constant observation. Avoid promising confidence. Don't tell them that, oh, you tell me I won't tell anybody that you wanted to kill yourself. Don't promise them. Don't even bring that aspect in. When she says, please, what I'm telling you, don't tell anybody that I wanted to use the rope that is hanging there or the blade to cut my tooth. Say, well, just move on. Move on with it. So how would you have that? Just don't promise. Otherwise, you will also be the reason why she has to even kill him or herself better. Sometimes you have to bring in police. Call 911 on them. Take the person seriously and don't leave them alone. All right, guys, let's answer a question. Sorry, guys. Can you still hear me?
Sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Who's a speaker free toy? All right. What's the answer to this, guys?
Option B.
Option B.
B.
Let's try this one too quickly. I want the fastest fingers. We have some few slides left, so don't worry. And you see these simple questions that we are seeing. It counts on the NCLEX. Yeah, somebody even said, I saw a very similar question. Yes, it does. It's the same central team. So they just have to formulate a question around that team. And it's something you'll be doing when you come to the US. So you know. Yeah, dear, now, so when I created my website, and then I shared the recordings of our lectures with the web builder, or what do we call them? Is it network developer or whatever? He said, sir, your videos don't look professional. Smiling, talking to them, chit chats, personal conversations. I'm saying, Charlie, you from Umbabumio. That is what makes my class my class. That is the special aspect of my class.
Exactly.
Yes. If you don't like it, you don't come to my class. Now, he decided to, when he was uploading some of the videos there, watch one of them. He said he felt so much in love because it was an initial captivating story I was sharing. It was about life in the US. Then he decided to listen. Before he said, Jack, he had watched all the 2 hours video, but he's not a nurse.
Wow.
So now the request is that, sir, please, I have a cousin nurse or born a girlfriend. Can you help me? I'm saying, I know it's your girlfriend. Why are you trying to make it a cousin by force like that? I was, hey, how did you know? All right, I'm seeing different I'm seeing A and I'm seeing B. Which is which?
Is B.
Why do you think people are choosing A? Because this one is an emergency, isn't it?
B.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just go ahead and then do the B. Okay. Let's try this. Practice, they say, brings about perfection. Try and partake in it. Answer fast too. You are practicing. So the fastness in practicing helps. In military routines, if you are a general who is planning kind of a training manual for your troops, if the real task is supposed to be achieved in, let's say, 1 hour, you should practice with your troops so that within 30 minutes they can achieve the same thing. And then also, as part of your practice, you should create a scenario where the real thing that they've practiced for has changed. Okay, try and be fast. Try and be fast. I've been secretly telling people that you don't rush on the NCLEX anyway, but this is a computer adaptive test, meaning it adapts to your intelligence of how you answer the questions. So there is some sort of artificial intelligence there. And to our best of knowledge, a person who picks fast answers and gets them correct is seen as a very fast person. The computer noticed. That is why when you are solving questions on the question banks, they are able to tell you the time you use in solving that question. There is a reason. It's not just for fun. So fast and accuracy defines smartness. Yeah, I'm not saying go and rush and get all answers wrong on the NCLEX, but try and practice within some time frames. Okay. All right. So what's the answer? Option
4.
Option 4.
Oh.
The rationale is there. Let's try this question.
Option 4. Okay.
Now, if you get it wrong, don't feel defeated though. Biological wife is my witness. When I was practicing with question banks during my time preparing for the NCLEX, you see, I had already taught people. I had not written the NCLEX, but I was lecturing people to go and write the NCLEX, and they were passing. I have not written it myself. It didn't make sense. I mean, you have to write so that whatever you are teaching makes sense. So when I was going, it's as if there were cameras on me. People knew I was there. People knew my time of taking the exams, and people knew the time that I got back. I used like 55 minutes to answer the whole question to cut at 80. So whatever I practice, like I teach, I just had it over there, and it was just fantastic. It was just I planned it. But when I was practicing for it, rather, I was getting 30%, 45% on the question banks. There is nothing wrong with it. But the concept is, if you get some question continually wrong, and it is from your side, sometimes I blame the question banks the way they frame the question. If it is from your side, just get an authority, Sounders, Forest, Hersey, any of them. I have lots of books. Those of you in my group, I've given you access to links. So many documents, you can't even learn them. Read whatever they are saying you are not getting. Just try and answer it. Sometimes watch YouTube videos on it. Talk to a friend about it. Talk to Asabi about it. If I have knowledge or principle, tricks in getting it done, I will share with you. Then you have it. Go and write your NCLEX and come and enjoy with your family. That 30%, 45%, it does not really suggest who you are. And I am saying so. They have the determinants of who a ready test taker is. They know what they do. But I don't think it's really something that defines you, because I never had better marks with them. But yet I did it by God's grace. All right. Looks like the one is the answer. Okay, let's try this question quickly. They're not difficult questions, so they are not difficult questions. But to a person who doesn't know the tricks, it looks difficult. So Sani, this one will count as the free one. So the psychiatry 2 will be for the paid members only. Then we will do the psych pharmacology for like that one as a free class, just for some brief part of it. I will not go deep with them, and then we continue. Efisa, how is the going? How's it going? How's it going? Like sometimes when they say how's it going, your response here will be it's going. More the minimum. So what should be happening? How is it going? Or is going? Hey. All right. Okay. Let's try this question. This will be the last one, and then we will end here. It's been almost 2 hours, 30 minutes that you've been online. And look at you. You're not even sleeping yet. And all that I taught today, honestly, was just depression. And I taught it in what actually the question wants you to know. The question wants you, the NCLEX wants you to identify what signs and symptoms will make a person be classified as being depressed. And these are things in normal life. So somebody who is not even trained in medicine knows these. Okay, we all know these things. Then you're able to pick them out from the question. Then when you know them, what do you do with them? How do you go around solving these issues? That is what the NCLEX wants to know. Okay. All right, guys. It's been nice working with you. I will at this moment pause and ask for questions, additions, or whatever you have here. Even if you want to say thank you, you can say it in the chat box. I'll see it. You could see from my eyes that my boy is tired. But we are fine. Oh, and okay. Hey, over
Charlie, my airports, bro. They were online, but